Hello, welcome to another episode of the CCENT Blitz, Fort Cook Group, Circle City Cisco Certified User Group, Certification User Group. I'm always good at messing that one up. This week, we're going to be talking about basic CLI for a Cisco switch. Start off, what is a CLI? Stands for Command Line Interface. It's a terminal emulation program used to send text into commands. Sometimes you can receive text-based results, especially if you mess up. Different ways to access the CLI with the Cisco equipment. Of course, to start with, when you open up your box, get your equipment, the only way you can do to it is the console. There's nothing else configured, so you have to just start out with the console. Uses a physical port usually, I guess, unless you've got an older computer. I think the newer computers are hard to find with the COM ports already on. You have to use a USB to DB9 connector, and that'll connect into the back of your RJ45 on the back of your on the back of your switch. Different ways you can do that. You have to do some configuration. You can go in with Telnet and SSH. Must be configured because it's all IP based. That's how it connects. Console access. This is you can see here. This is a fuzzy configuration window. Set your COM ports, whatever it is, which can be different depending on what device you're using. Speeds 9600, data bits 8, stop bits 1, parity none, flow control none. No network needed because you're directly connected to the switch or router, whichever one you're using. RJ45 to DB9, as I said earlier. There's a couple different emulation programs you can use. By default, you cannot use a hyperterminal with Windows 7 unless you go in and, I guess, install it. Windows XP and prior, you could. Terraterm is just another one that you can see on the market. I think there are some free and professional grade ones of that. Telnet and SSH, of course, they're both IP addressed or based. Telnet's on port 23, SSH on port 22. The main difference in the two, as you can see, is Telnet, all your transmission is going to be going in clear text. SSH, you're going in encryption. There is a hierarchy that you'll start out with when you configure a switch. You're going to start out in the exec mode, which is just basic standard. You can't really do a whole lot there. Move into the privilege mode. A couple more things open up. Global configuration mode is really where you spend a lot of your time, and of course your interfaces, you're going to spend a lot of time there too. And then line level configuration mode. User exec mode, as you can see, this is what it's going to look like. Limited amount of monitoring other commands such as ping, trace route. You can do some troubleshooting. Nothing that really controls the configuration of the device. Step into the privilege exec mode. Get there by typing enabled into the exec mode. To exit out of it, you can either type disable or end. Of course, end is more common. Should be password protected because at this point you can get into the point to where you're actually changing some commands, copy commands, stuff like that. Stepping up into the global configuration mode, commonly known as configuration mode, config T, is what you would type configuration terminal from the exec mode to get into it again, either exit or end to get out. This is where you can do a lot of the commands that change what your devices are, host names, just a couple of different things, passwords, CDP commands. You can use the do in front of your commands to go back and do like the do show run that will allow you to step back in mode and do a couple of commands. You cannot do like the copy commands, but it will allow you to do some of the show commands. Next, you're going to step up into the interface level configuration mode. This is where you're actually configuring the ports of the interfaces on your devices. You type interface, then the interface type, and then there's usually a number if you've got more than one of that type. Type exit to go back. And the commands pretty much that you're going to be doing here on a switch is pretty much just your speed duplex, put descriptions on it, and whether you want to shut it down or leave it open. Line level configuration mode is going to be your console. It's going to be your configuring your telnet ports and sometimes your auxiliary ports, stuff like that if you're hooking in via modem. Type exit to return to get out of the commands. And as I said, it's your console, auxiliary, VTY ports. There's a couple of help features that you can use as you're into the commands and stuff like that. You got your question mark command, which can be used in two different ways. Syntax checks, which shows you errors. Cisco likes to help you out a little bit and tell you when you mess up. And then there are some hotkeys that can make your configurations go a little bit easier, a little bit smoother. The tab and the question mark key. This is where you can see down here at the bottom. You type EN and then question mark, it's going to tell you all the commands that begin with the EN. If you do NEA question mark, it's going to show you all NAE, or I'm sorry, NAEs. The tab, I guess I'm jumping around a little bit, but the tab you can use to start, if you're starting to type a command, and you get enough letters into the command that it kind of knows what you're doing, it can't be confused with other commands, you can hit the tab and it'll finish out your typing for you. Syntax check, as I said before, you can see invalid input, it puts the caret up here showing where I messed up. Ambiguous commands means that there's more than one command that starts with that. And then an incomplete command, pretty much the same thing, you're just not putting enough data into the information, it doesn't know what you're doing. So, but they pretty much try to show you these carets and different symbols and stuff where you messed up at. They try to help you out a little bit. And again, this is some of the hotkeys that I was talking about. There are many more, but these are just some of the most common ones you're going to use. As I said, tab finishes partial commands, Control A moves the cursor, Control R redisplays a line. I believe you get the up and down arrows, you can go to the previous commands, Control Z. You can use Control Z to, instead of typing end or exit in a lot of the configuration modes and stuff like that, it's a step back a level. And of course, backspace, as you would use in any type of pretty much text editing or anything like that, it's going to delete the previous character. I think that's pretty much it. Short and sweet.